knowing when to fight and when to let God. If you're just tuning in, welcome to SLS Digital Music, Lo-Fi Reimagined. I'm Leon Smith, and you're right on time for our weekly pause we call Raising Wisdom. It's a moment to get centered, get into the Word, and get some clarity for whatever season you're in. Today's question is a real one, something I think a lot of us carry, but don't always say out loud. Am I supposed to be fighting this, or letting God handle it? It's easy to slip too far in either direction. Some of us hustle and grind until we're burned out. Others hold back and call it faith when it's really fear or fatigue. So let's open the Bible and look at how we find the balance between godly action and holy surrender. Number 1, God fights for us, but we must stand. The Lord will fight for you while you keep silent. Exodus 14:14. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the sons of Israel to go forward." Exodus 14:15. Here's a wild moment in Scripture. The Israelites are cornered at the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army is closing in, and the people start panicking. God tells Moses, "Be still." And then right after he says, "Move forward." So, imagine someone overwhelmed by a conflict at work. They want to send an email defending themselves, explain everything, maybe even push back hard. But instead, they sense God saying, "Wait, be still, let me handle this." Yet, in that stillness, they also feel the prompting to walk into the next day calm, respectful, and focused, moving forward in obedience, not fear. Litmus test: are you staying still because you're surrendered, or because you're scared? Number 2, cease striving, but don't sit still. Cease striving and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Cease striving means more than stopping activity. It means stopping the kind of striving that comes from anxiety, control, or desperation. Let's say someone is in a financial crisis. They're working multiple jobs, stressing 24/7, even taking on side gigs that stretch them too thin. The striving is real, but maybe, instead of working harder, God is inviting them to stop, pray, and ask for wisdom on how to live differently, not to do nothing, but to do the right things in His strength. Litmus test: are you exhausting yourself because you don't trust the outcome, or are you taking peaceful, God-led steps? Number 3, prepare for battle, but fight in God's strength. Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm. Ephesians 6:11. Having done everything, to stand firm. Ephesians 6:13. Paul's message here isn't fight harder, it's gear up. The armor is spiritual, truth, righteousness, faith, not weapons of the flesh. Imagine someone who's been criticized or misunderstood publicly. The temptation is to lash out, defend themselves loudly, but instead they take time in prayer, read scripture, and let God shape their response. They show up for the conversation with grace, ready to speak truth, but not from a place of anger. Litmus test: are you entering your battles armored in peace and truth, or armed with frustration, pride, anger, or fear? Number 4, don't confuse faith with laziness. The soul of the lazy one craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is made prosperous. Proverbs 13:4. Sometimes we use waiting on God as an excuse not to act, but faith is never lazy. It's diligent, prayerful, and ready to move when God says go. Maybe someone's been saying, "I'm waiting on the Lord to bring me the right opportunity," but they haven't applied for a single job or developed any of their skills. They're not preparing for what they're praying for. That's not faith, it's delay. Litmus test: am I taking steps in line with my prayer, or just sitting still, hoping things change on their own? Number 5, Jesus, the model of rest and resistance. Take my yoke upon you, and you will find rest for your souls. Matthew 11:29. Jesus didn't burn out. He resisted evil, healed the sick, fed the hungry, but he also rested, withdrew to pray, and stayed in step with the Father's timing. Picture a person in ministry who says yes to everything, burning the candle at both ends in the name of service, But what if God is saying, "You're carrying things I never asked you to carry. Lay it down. Rest in me." Jesus wasn't lazy, but he was never frantic either. Litmus test. Are you busy because you're obedient, or because you feel guilty saying no? Number 6. Be slow to anger. Let God defend you. Everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. For the anger of man does not achieve the righteousness of God. James 1:19-20. Anger can feel powerful in the moment, but it rarely brings peace. God tells us to be slow to anger because he wants us to make space for his justice, not ours. Say someone is betrayed by a friend. They want to call them out publicly, vent online, let everyone know what happened. But then they remember, the anger of man doesn't produce God's results. So instead of reacting, they take a breath, pray, and wait for God to bring truth to the surface. Litmus test. Is your anger rooted in justice or just a wounded ego? Family, I know how tempting it is to try and figure everything out yourself, to fix it, to fight, or to hide and call it patience. But true wisdom says, Lord, show me when to stand still, when to step up, and when to simply be still and know you are God. Let that be your prayer this week. Ask him, am I fighting this battle in faith or in fear? Am I surrendering out of trust or am I giving up too soon? This is SLS Digital Music. Come for the music, stay for the radio, and find your sound. Like that song playing? That's from my new sister-in-law, Vanessa Hill. Make sure to check out that album, At Last, when it comes out. I'm Leon Smith, and this has been Raising Wisdom. Stay locked in. We've got more encouragement through every beat, every lyric, every moment.